Hello, I'm Jeff Morgan with Dad Talk Today, and we're here with Charles Love. Charles, what exactly do you do?
Well, I work with an organization seeking educational excellence, and what we try to do is to weed out social justice agenda in education.
Really? Okay. So how long have you been involved in this with this organization?
Well, with the organization, relatively new. I generally started with a push on trying to link a lot of libertarians and conservatives together.
Okay.
To try, because everybody kind of works in silos, right?
Right.
So you got people like, I'm the First Amendment guy, I'm a Second Amendment guy,
Right,
whatever.
right.
But they don't do anything together,
Yeah.
so we look small, whereas on the left, everybody kind of joins everybody's movement. If you say
Right.
you want to boycott
Right.
a sandwich, they can get 500 people there. But we gotta like, well, what do you do? We more inquisitive. We're like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this? What are you doing first? So I just wanted to create synergy amongst people.
Yeah.
And then I ran into the Kevin Jackson, a former Fox News commentator
Absolutely.
who runs the organization, and we got to talking, and we had like a similar vision of where we wanted to go, and so that's kind of how I got involved.
So, when you talk about some of these issues, the silo mentality, yes, it drives me nuts. And one of the things that we talk about is the importance of family, because if you look at the different silos that we're talking about, what seems to underscore all of them is the importance of families.
Without
We
doubt.
have this problem here because of a broken family. We have this problem here, broken family.
Right.
Every single
Failed
malady.
education, criminal justice, economic mobility, everything.
Right. So, from an educational point of view, what do you see as far as success rates of students who come from intact families versus students who come from who are children of divorce?
Well, it's simple. It's everything's, as a child, you're growing up and you're learning, and we teach you stuff, right? You go to class, but a lot of your early learning comes from your environment, what you see, what you mirror, what you see. So the fact that you have a two-parent household, it definitely gives it the proper example and creates a foundation that helps you go where you need to go. So when that is missing, there's a missing part of that equation.
Right.
And a lot of people, especially on the left, like to say, we don't need a man. Betty Friedan, I need a man like, a fish needs a bicycle. But they're making a mistake because they're looking at it from a standpoint of whether I, as a woman, need a man in my life.
Right.
But you're ignoring the child. The child needs a man,
Yeah.
right? Because you come to that relationship, you come to that marriage, each with strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely.
So you only have one. And one of the things that I talk about is a gender thing. So, from an education standpoint, you hear a lot about girls, right? Girls who code, girls rock, and that stuff is important. I have no problem with trying to get more girls and women into STEM, if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But if you're doing it at a detriment to boys and men, that's a problem.
Right.
And being without a father affects both children, but girls and boys,
Right.
but it affects them differently. And I look at it like they're saying that women are being treated differently or facing inequality. But all you got to do really is just sit back and let nature take its course. Boys and men are more likely to not go to college, drop out if they go, end up in prison, get murdered or be a murderer, right? Drug overdose, homelessness, all of these things, right? So all these things are holding them back because they don't have a male role model. They don't have anybody to show them how to do it. And you tell a mother that and they say, I don't need a man. But you have to simply ask them. Right? If I was to say you got this daughter and you go and you do these girl and female things together as a
Right.
bonding ring, everybody says that's beautiful. But if I say that a father should do the same thing, you say, what do you got against women? It's asinine.
Yeah. We had a couple of female candidates for Congress that were here as well, and they've talked about the whole issue about the importance of fathers as well. I'm really, when we're talking about the importance of fathers, for anybody who's watching, we believe that both parents have strengths and weaknesses.
Without a doubt.
We need to have both parents. The best interest of the child in almost every instance is to be raised in an intact family with both parents, both natural parents. But what you're saying is very, very valid. I've listened to some people talk about, a mother is not more important, a father is not
Right.
more important. They are both
Right.
important.
Both equal but different.
Right. But you mentioned the idea about dropout rates in school.
Right.
And a lot of our educators don't talk about that. We want to throw more money at education. But to me, and I want your feedback on this, I think that maybe some of the money should be thrown at how do we fix families? How do we slow down, stop, minimize divorce? Because if we can take care of these foundational issues, a lot of these other issues won't need as much attention as far as taxpayer spending and other things like that. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that's true. The reason people are afraid to address it is because all the biggest problems we have can be fixed.
Right.
but you can't fix them with money or with short fixes, and people don't want to put in the time. So I go around and tell people this is what you need to do. And it's like, yeah, but that's going to take 15 years. And I'm like, and
Exactly
the thing
right.
that takes 2 years won't work.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. You have to get involved in those. And like I write about the culture. I think that's the biggest thing, right? We have to fix the culture because the culture is declining.
Yeah.
Now you can't fix that in a year because you need to change the way people view things.
Right.
And I don't know if it's money you need to put behind it or not, but you definitely need to have a focus specifically on the issues that matter. So you talk about dropout rates and the things that people try to put money in. Well, the way I look at it is they can put all the money that they can in different facets, but the problem would be the kid has to go show up into school.
Right.
So if you don't have a father involved, it's not even that they're different, they bring different things to the relationship. It's just the number of people. Let's look at the sheer fact that if you have one person raising their kids and they have to work, they have to earn a living, they work extra hours because they need money for this. So how many parent-teachers conferences are they going to? How much homework are they helping with? So they're just simply not there. So if there's two people in the household, it just evens out some of the work you have to do, right? So just from that alone, you need someone else there. And you talk about trying to mitigate the divorce rate, which would be great. But there's an even bigger problem before you even get to that problem, is that even if they get divorced, what is it about these women that say, I'm mad at you, so I'm going to punish you by not letting you see your kid, but you're also punishing the kid. So if that father was still going to, I don't know them stats off the top of my head, but I guarantee if they're divorced, but the father still plays an active role, it's less effective than if they're still together, but it's still far greater than just that woman doing it by herself. So you can't just cut him out, right? You can't just act like, I don't need a father, because and since we're not together, then you get to move on. And you're allowing him to abdicate his responsibility. So he used to fight to stay in your family. Now the guys are just commonly saying, well, she don't want me around. And you just move on, and you're living the single life like you don't even have kids. Right? That's irresponsible.
Absolutely. The other thing that also comes along with that is when you have a mother or a father who has the kids and they marry somebody else and the new husband or the new wife becomes the replacement parent. And that is completely wicked, what's going on with that. We are not looking at this from the perspective of a child. The child sees two parents. You know, I've been on planes and I've watched a guy just holding a six-month-old baby. And you know what the baby's doing? Hugging him. Hugging him. Like, this is my daddy, or this is my mommy. And you tear that relationship apart. Don't tell me you aren't causing trauma. Don't tell me you aren't leaving scars in that child's life. Some scars that may take a long time, even a lifetime to heal. And don't tell me it's not going to affect their performance in school and other areas.
Well, no, it's everything. It's like, it's the foundation. It's anything else you're doing. If you talk about the foundation is an important part to keep that building from falling, you can't then look at people, which is so complex, and say the foundation doesn't matter. We can just slap anything in there. You can't do it. It's gonna permeate out to everything. Every facet of that child's life is going to be affected by the absence of the father.
Absolutely. So I'm going to bring this to a close here, but tell us again who you work with, what you do and everything, just for anybody who's listening.
Charles Love, Seeking Educational Excellence. You can find us at seekingeducationalexcellence.org. We are doing an event April 3rd and 4th with Dennis Prager, Heather McDonald, focusing on all the problems, the crisis in Big Ed. You really want to come out and make it there, and we'll be doing events in the future, so you got to check us out.
Where is that event going to be taking place?
It's going to be in Chandler, Arizona, outside of Phoenix.
Chandler, Arizona. That looks. I'm in Texas. I hope maybe I can make it. I don't know if
it's
going to happen.
Send people.
Absolutely.
And just stay focused on what we're doing, and because the name will be out there. You'll hear about us, and we'll be doing events all across the country.
Charles, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.